In April 1853, a letter arrived at number 3 Upper Merrion Street in Dublin. Sent by the board of Trinity College, it confirmed the prestigious contract for a new engineering school, now known as the Museum Building. Number 3 was home to the offices of Sir Thomas Deane, his son Thomas Newenham Deane, and the engineer-turned-architect Benjamin Woodward. Their vision for the new building was innovative and striking. A Venetian Gothic design, it featured columns of green Connemara marble, Cork red limestone, and other native polished limestones, commonly known as marble for their lustrous qualities. It was a revolutionary scheme that used varied coloured stone in structural columns for the first time in Britain and Ireland. Deane and Woodward's submission was heavily influenced by John Ruskin, whose book, The Stones of Venice, praised the natural beauty of coloured marble in vivid terms. In time, the building would be recognised not only as a landmark of Victorian architecture, but as a catalyst for the spread of Irish marble across the world. The oldest of Ireland's decorative stones, Connemara marble was deposited some 600 million years ago in the Precambrian period as a muddy limestone in a shallow marine coastal environment. Approximately 100 million years later, it was altered by heat and pressure to form a distinctive and variegated green stone. English visitors to the west of Ireland were amazed at its quality. Undoubtedly the richest and finest ornamental stone yet found in these kingdoms, wrote the travel writers Samuel and Anna Maria Hall. From the early 19th century, entrepreneurial landowners began working the quarries of Connemara, eager to extract the great swathes of marble that lay beneath its hills and valleys. Yet there were obstacles. Transporting stone, always a slow process, was doubly difficult in rural Ireland, where the quarries were remote and served only by poor roads. And native marble was expensive. In the 1830s, the engineer Charles Y. Williams, conscious of Ireland's economic poverty, set about opening up inland waterways and established a marble works on the River Shannon to exploit quarries in the west. With the foundation of the Geological Survey in 1845, the extraordinary decorative potential of Irish Carboniferous limestone began to spread. In 1850, a new Museum of Irish Industry opened at 51 St Stephen's Green, its entrance hall a magnificent tribute to Irish stone. A series of trade exhibitions followed in London, Cork and Dublin, which brought specimens of this natural treasure to the attention of the public. Deane and Woodward employed Connemara marble as the dominant decorative stone in their groundbreaking building. Huge blocks of Connemara marble were raised at quarries in Streamstown and Ballynahinch, then taken on horse-drawn carts to Clifton Quay in the west and Cloon Isle Pier in the south. From the Galway coast, they were transported up the River Shannon to the water-powered marble works at Killaloo, where they were turned on lathes into columns by the firm of William Manderson, whose father had been a master mason at Buckingham Palace. Finished columns were loaded onto canal barges set for Dublin. On arrival, they were placed back on carts and brought to Trinity College. Ground was broken on the site in 1854, and soon after, scaffolding rose to form a shadowy outline of the building. By 1855, the exterior was clearly visible. Over the next 2 years, stone by stone, column by column, the interior took shape. Aside from Connemara marble, polished limestone for the hall's 32 columns was drawn from quarries in Galway, Cork, Armagh, Offaly, Kilkenny and Fermanagh. Deane had to accept some columns composed of several blocks. The architects commissioned the stone carvers John and James O'Shea and their close relative Edward Whelan to animate the building with carvings of plants and animals, inspired by the college's botanic gardens. 4 years later, in 1857, the building was complete. The result was breathtaking. The richly decorated exterior included carved Portland stone, coloured roundels, and a deep band of ornament beneath the eaves. Inside, a double-domed chamber with an imperial staircase was framed by 2 tiers of Byzantine arcades with spectacular columns of Irish stone. Overhead, the roof shone with yellow, blue, green and red enamelled bricks. In a few strides, a visitor could almost travel the length and breadth of the country. The building was an Irish geology lesson in itself. Connemara marble was later used in the construction of University Church in Dublin, Kylemore Abbey, and the National Museum and National Library of Ireland. In Britain, the stone featured in the Oxford Museum of Natural History and in churches from Cambridge to Cornwall. It reached as far away as Cape Town in South Africa and all over the United States. Indeed, nowhere was Connemara marble used to greater effect than in the spectacular public libraries in Chicago and the Bronx, and in the state capital of Pennsylvania at Harrisburg. The influence of the museum building at Trinity College Dublin echoed around the world. Today, it represents a unique moment when Irish geology and architecture came together, propelled by changing tastes and changing times, to give us this magnificent landmark building.